Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Commercial Vehicle Business Network podcast. I'm your host, Steve Henning, and no matter the time of day or where you're joining us from, we sure appreciate you being here. And I'm excited to say that we have a returning guest today, Candy McCollum, the business manager for Comvoy. Candy, welcome as always.
Yes, good morning, Steve.
Good morning, good morning. And we have a pretty interesting and fun topic today. I hear Comvoy recently celebrated a milestone. Can you share a little with us about that?
Yes, Steve. So just in the spirit of gratitude, right? Because we're in November, we would like to, talk about that significant milestone with Comvoy turning 5 years old.
Congratulations.
Happy birthday, Comvoy.
Happy birthday indeed. So let's talk about maybe the history of Comvoy. That seems like a good place to start. So it's been 5 years. What can you tell us about maybe the impetus behind creating Comvoy and what that looked like? And then we'll get into a little bit of, how that journey has been and where you are today.
Yeah. So it's always a good time to reflect back, right? So for Comvoy, I think the biggest thing, and I know probably get tired of me saying it, Steve, but it's always knowing your why, right?
Sure.
And so when Comvoy launched, that was, the why. And it launched with a mission that was very clear. It was to help the dealerships, but not just the dealerships, equally helping and empowering businesses, supporting fleets to collaborate and help the OEMs and to assist our upfitter partners. And, it was just all in, and everyone was dedicated to creating a platform that connects all these vital players in the commercial industry. And not just the connecting, but it fosters growth and innovation. And I think that we have seen that, the last time that, you and I had chatted was we had talked about some partnerships, right? So it's just the constant helping, right? And it's not just helping one, it's Comvoy is there as a whole ecosystem, as a whole industry helper. So that why never goes away, right? And get to carry that torch, the keeper of the flame, I don't know, for like new things. And the commercial vehicle industry, I don't want to say it's age, but it's always been tough to tackle, right? So sometimes when things are tough to tackle, if you think about tough to tackle tasks on your daily list, I mean, sometimes we just maybe push those to the bottom and not want to do them. So I think for the commercial vehicle industry, that kind of happened. So, Work Truck Solutions had just tackled a huge feat in the space with, the dealer portion and the website. So Comvoy just piggybacked off that, and it's been fun to watch it grow.
No, that's great. And for those of you that don't know that might be tuning in today, so it's not Convoy like the old song, maybe that some of us know from back in the day, but it's Comvoy, Comvoy, Comvoy.
That's right. That is right, Steve. Comvoy with an M. It's the commercial voyage.
I like it.
Super
So
fun.
how about this, Candy? Maybe for people that haven't been to Comvoy yet for whatever reason, can you give us a 30-second, 1-minute definition of really what is it?
Yeah, well, it's a marketplace for commercial vehicles, and it was again, it was designed with all those players, in mind. So our goal was first in the market for its kind of structured data to help people to find exactly the truck that they were looking for, right? Quickly. Right. Whether it was by body type, specs on the body, by vocation, it is designed with the end user in mind, supporting all the players. It's just been really exciting because, from all aspects, the positive feedback from the end user, from the OEMs, from the upfitters, from the dealers itself. And we can get a lot of that feedback on the regular because those end users are calling our dealers, right? So sometimes the things that the end users are telling our dealers about, wow, it was really easy, right? Yeah. I had searched and searched, but I found this really quickly on this site. And
well, that's funny, Candy. I know we were talking before we actually started recording today, and you and I have both personally experienced hey, if I'm going out to research something, I'm looking for something that's pretty quick. I don't need a 15 or 20 minute or more video. I'm looking for something that's a pretty quick hit, a couple of minutes. And I think everybody's in that same boat. We're just so doggone busy. You need a resource that can help you find something quickly. So I would think if you're a business out there and you're looking for a vehicle, if you've got a tool where you can go find it quickly, that's paramount, right? Speed and ease of use, I think, is just critical.
Complete. You hit the nail on the head, Steve, because it's not like you're buying a car for your soon to be child that's turning 16, or your partner or spouse or a parent, whoever, right? Like this is a vehicle that is for a business. That means that it's got work to do,
right?
And having work to do, that requires certain specs, and it had not been done. There has been some things done to support the space, but down to that structured data of roof height, width, the kinds of doors, the flooring, the things that matter that you need to know,
right?
Cab to axle, those things. Like the people in the commercial space, the end users, they know. Right. Like they know what they're, and if they don't know, right, if they're not familiar, then guess what Comvoy also does? It is a resource for those, and not just the end user to become more familiar with their vocation or the types of vehicles for the vocations. But let's say that you're in a dealership and you're new, right? Maybe you're a retail crossover to a commercial department. Maybe you came from a completely different industry to this space. Comvoy's there also to help you as a resource to learn more about the space, the partners, the vehicles. Like it's just buy guides, style guides, body type. It's just a ton of resource for the space. Super exciting.
I hadn't even thought about it from that perspective. I always have thought about it, I guess, from the buyer's perspective. And my first thought is, gee, if I just started a new business, I probably don't know a lot of those specs. Roof height, doors. That's great that I can search that way, but I'm not sure I know exactly what it is I'm looking for. So having some sort of guide or resource is fantastic. But then when you mentioned somebody at the dealership, I hadn't even thought about that. That's a completely new perspective. I really like that. And so speaking of resources, what do you see maybe coming in the future from what other types of resources might people need, or what do you predict, or what is, if you can share even a little bit about, what's Comvoy thinking of going forward in terms of what will be important to people?
Yeah, well, Steve, I can say that we are continued dedication, right, to building bridge in a space remains at the forefront of our mission and what we do. So everything in the future, there will be announcements soon. Look for it. Okay.
Okay.
We're just committed to enhancing that buying and selling experience for everyone involved. So there's growing trends in the space, right?
Yep.
I don't know how to say it other than some things are a challenge, right? Some things are the first in the space. So we're working on, again, some first in the space kind of tools that can support the end users, actually can support the whole entire ecosystem with some trends. So I'm just going to leave it at that, Steve, but it's it's exciting. And if I talk about it too much, I don't want to, let any cat out of the bag. And
no, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, yeah. I think you really piqued our interest. Now I'm going to have to keep an eye out and see, gosh, what's coming in the future. I imagine there's a few watching or listening to this today that are probably thinking the same thing. I have a couple thoughts in my head currently about, trends and the way things are going. So be curious to see what's announced.
Well, it goes back to something I said earlier, Steve. This space has always been, it's just really, it's not easy to connect the pieces, right?
Sure.
And, there's so many aspects. When I say team, I'm talking everyone from, every department, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy in this space. It actually, you can't just click a button and everything happens. Like it takes a grind, and it takes a grind on the daily to make these pieces connect with accuracy, right? It's the data that sets Comvoy separate and heads above just anything in the space. I mean, I wish I knew the number. Maybe the next time we chat, I'll just start off with the number. I'll see if I can gather it. But on our commercial vehicle business summit that we just recently held, I heard Catherine mention a number of unique combinations, like vehicle combinations.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yep.
That, we've seen through the years, and it's crazy. Like I'm talking thousands and thousands. And I'm not talking like make, model, trim combinations.
Yeah.
Right. Like these are like body, engine, like major,
major pieces or major components.
Yes. Yeah. So, it's just, taking what we've learned, what we have the capability to do, and cross another bridge. It's exciting.
Well, it is exciting. And again, congratulations on celebrating 5 years for Comvoy. And gosh, if I had a champagne glass, I guess I would toast and say, here's to another 5 and even longer than that. But,
yes.
Congrats. And we'll keep an eye out for that announcement that you alluded to a little bit, and can't wait to see what that's all about as well.
Thank you, Steve. And to our partners that may be, chiming into this, our dealers, just thank you for being part of this journey with us. We do appreciate all the support, and we can't wait for what the next 5 years brings.
Well, that's fantastic. Candy, thanks so much for joining us today and talking a little bit about Comvoy, COMVOY.
That's right, commercial voyage.
Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Steve. Bye-bye.